kind of system is the head. That's a rare four-spirit holy body that's been around for 1,000 years. And it has the four great mythical spirits.
The array of mythical spirits is not as simple as drinking water.
Hearing this, the other six sex masters were surprised that the Qingchuan sect could cultivate such a natural friendship. This is something they never dreamed of. Hearing the discussion around the Qingchuan sect, the Grand Master Takam was in a hurry to cover up his joy. The 8-wall dispute ended, and the 4-wall dispute was to be fought at the same time. A mysterious man in a purple robe had come to the foot of the Qingchuan sect. It was the man who had been lurking in the Qingchuan sect for hundreds of years trying to steal the Sword of the Pearl. What surprised him was that the Sword of the Pearl was finally in his hand, and he was forbidden to guard the Qingchuan sect once. And now is the critical moment of the Qingchuan sect. As long as the future 6 major sects are all solved, the Sword of the Pearl that shook the world was his. When he thought of it, the mysterious man took out a masked magic treasure. This can perfectly hide the original aura of the person wearing it. In this way, even if it is to fight with the 6 major sects, it will not reveal its true identity. With the mysterious man wearing a masked magic treasure, a familiar face was revealed. It was the appearance of the Qingchuan sect's founding father. Yi Kengshuan, Qingchuan sect, your father is back. At the same time, Yi Kengshuan felt something in the audience seat in the arena, and turned to the Qingchuan sect's direction and said, "Is it finally here? The show is finally about to start." The original life and death of the sects, and the war with the figure of the rival suddenly became extremely quiet, because this person has officially disappeared for thousands of years. The long-lost immortal body of the old master Yi Kengshuan, seeing all the big guys in the sect, it was hard to believe that someone could really return from the upper world successfully. After comparing the portraits in his hand, he found that he was indeed the legendary Yi Kengshuan who had left countless legends. Even the great elder of the Qingchuan sect, Takam, dared not believe his own eyes. It was really their master who came back. However, what people can't even dream of is that the real Yi Kengshuan is actually in the audience seat right now. Tang Yuayu saw this and laughed. "Why don't you talk, husband? Did you see that this person pretended to be you? It's kind of like being impersonated." Yi Kengshuan heard this and got a little angry. All the people who came to the hand of Zhu Jiangjian believed it was true that the 6 major sects gathered in the Qingchuan sect to come for Zhu Jiangjian. At this moment, there is no need to continue the battle of the sects to see the main hand holding Zhu Jiangjian. The ancient master of the Test Valley Kitchen just opened his mouth from the audience seat for a month. Even if Yi Kengshuan is clear, and how the world's first in our eyes is just a 2,000-year-old man who may not be able to get out of the upper world. "Give me the sword in your hand, or you won't leave today." The mysterious man who pretended to be Yi Kengshuan happily opened his mouth. "No one has dared to talk to me like this for a long time." A mere honorable man did not even reach the saint when he really said something. A terrible pressure came out. Gang was cold and sweating all the time, and couldn't help but swallow his saliva. He thought about the strong breath of this man and was scared to shiver. The mysterious man said with a smile, "That as long as you can win me, this pig sword is yours." Wen Yan Kishin just suppressed the fear in his heart and released the anger of the whole body. A man who returns to the lower world, even if you are a saint, your current strength is not one. I may not be able to say that a huge fireball is coming out of the conversation. The mysterious man shot, and the sword like mysterious man was just a hand in the hand of the stage, and the terrible fireball was shot in 4 parts and 5 pieces. But soon he understood the meaning of Gang. The fireball was just alive. The main purpose of Gang was to let the flame breathe and envelop the entire platform. In this way, the Gang, which specializes in flame technique, can be like water. The figure of Gang is quickly swept through the bottom of the platform by the breath of the flame. At the same time, there is a branch of fire that is quietly behind the mystery. The mysterious man, who can see through it at a glance, is very happy. Young Gong scolds the children to play tricks, and then suddenly a reaction is formed. The flame behind the back of the body went out, and the flame of the body appeared on countless cracks and disappeared in an instant. At the same time, the true body of Gang appeared from above, and the power of the corner was like a mountain deck, like a mysterious man. Then a collision of the whole stadium was heard, and the fish waves generated by the collision spread to the audience. Countless disciples of the sect were attacked by the East Island. West Bend, with the smoke dispersed, 2 figures appeared in the competition field. Mysterious people easily blocked the power of Gang. He said with a laugh that this is your right. And it was really disappointing. When Yan Gang was furious for a month, and used the long-established forbidden tree to destroy the fairy flame. The terrible flame carried the power of the whole world, and smiled at the mysterious man on the stage below. Seeing this scene, the audience was in a state of shock, and the platform in the field was directly blown away by the flag. Seeing the effect of this act, Gang showed a satisfactory look. "You dare to belittle me, and you are just like that." However, Huang Ying just fell, and a hand suddenly put on his shoulder, and the mysterious man did not know when he appeared behind him and said with a laugh that the power of this move was really good in terms of attack. It's a pity that the speed is too slow. The sudden attack hit the face of Gang, and Gang flew out without any resistance and hit the wall of the stadium, directly hit by the heavy loss of the power of the war. To do these mysterious people fell to the ground and said with a bad temper that this is now one of the 6 major sects of Qingzhou. Is it a little too weak to look at the master of other sects on the audience table and say, "Don't tell me you're as weak as him"? Huang Ying just fell into the audience table, and countless disciples were born to fight for their master. In this situation, the owner of the Jiayu Hall, Nai Jiayu, and the master of the Guanzhong sect, Ji Qianru, and the Grandmaster of the Wanchigate, Jiang Quan, jumped into the competition field.
The three of them surrounded the mysterious man in a group.
Even if it's not for the sake of Zhu Jiangjian, even if it's for the sake of the 6 major sects, the 3 of them can't sit still. In this situation, the mysterious man is not afraid of ridicule. If you can force me to use Zhu Jiangjian, I can spare your lives. When I hear such a wild word, where can the 3 of you stand? Without further ado, I attack the mysterious man at the same time. In the face of the 3 honorable and powerful, the mysterious man just gently jumped off his feet. The force of a foot is as terrible as silk, and directly blows the 3 of them out. As the head of the top sect in the lower world, the 3 honorable men are also people of great strength and strength. The owner of the Jiayu Hall, Na Jiayu, has a powerful hand. First, he broke the power of the mysterious man and then quickly killed the mysterious man. But in the face of such a sharp blow, the mysterious man just lifted his legs and flew him out, flying to the air. Na Jiayu was angry at the other 2 and did not shoot. At random, both hands released a strange energy, smiling at the mysterious man and trying to bind him. At the same time, he took a deep breath with the chief of the Huanzong sect, Ji Qianru, and then killed the mysterious man with a strong sound wave. After the head of the beast gate was furious, he punched the ground and saw a half-fairy dragon glue breaking out of the mouth, and a terrifying energy ball was instantly fused. However, in the face of the 3 coming killers, the mysterious man gently pulled out the sword of the waist and cut out the terrible sword, as if it were of broken bamboo, directly cut the half-fairy dragon glue into 2, and killed Na Jiayu, who was behind him, with his sword. The people around him did not expect the 3 honorable and powerful of the 6 major sects. Even the mysterious man's sword was unbeatable. Seeing this situation, the chief of the Zhuan sword sect, Jiangkin, also began to think in his head, is this the power of the Zhuchuan sword? Let a mere fairy's first-time practice can explode the power of the Candy Fairy King Mirror. I thought of this sword Shan blew out of the excited god color. I jumped into the pen fighting field and put the accessories of the waist sword on the ground and looked at the mysterious man with a full of war. I hope your swordsmanship won't let me down. The 6 major sects of the Qingchuan sect are all here for the Zhuchuan sword, but only Jiangkin is an exception. He came here to fight the legendary Qingchuan old group. Jiangkin only hates himself for not being born 3,000 years ago, when there were countless heavenly religions.
If the mysterious man in front of you is really the legendary one, you can use your own strength to suppress the world's heroes. It's not a waste of his trip here.
Jiangkin did not hesitate to kill the mysterious man directly. The moment the 2 met, a loud noise was made. The energy generated by the collision spread around. Feel the state of cultivation released by Jiangkin. The mysterious man finally officially got up to open the mouth to enter the upper world. But you can step into the realm of the immortals 10,000 years rare to see the red dust fairy. After a test, the 2 separated and watched the mysterious man's Zhuchuan sword. The sword was thrown away and the accessories in his hand were taken away. A soldier named Yin flew out of the sword and landed steadily in Jiangkin's hand. Then the 2 of them launched an attack at the same time. But what Jiangkin did not expect was just a collision. The soldier named Jian's hand was instantly full of cracks, and the other party's Zhuchuan sword was not great at all. The soldier who was looking at the broken sword was also in a state of mind. I thought it was a good thing that Zhuchuan sword was really good. And then I called out a soldier from the sword bridge and attacked the mysterious man again. The sword was fierce and the sword was a mysterious man, who raised his hand and a sword was quickly aimed at the sword. The next second, Jiangkin's soldier broke again. Seeing this situation, Jiangkin hurriedly pulled back and the distance between the other party's Zhuchuan sword was far beyond his expectations. It was not an ordinary soldier who could compare with you. I threw the sword in my hand, and I ran toward the mysterious man again without fear. On the way, I shouted loudly and the sword came to the ground and the sword on the ground flashed through to strings of light and to soldiers named Wu Sheng and Fishin shot out and fell steadily into Jiangkin's hand. The operation of the clan flow wire did not stop a little bit. Jiangkin double-eyed read towards the mysterious man. The mysterious man's sword raised the Zhuchuan sword, and it was just a collision. The soldier named Wu Sheng broke instantly and Jiangkin again moved another soldier to show the same ending. When a sword came, Jiangkin was angry. A set of sword skills. Jiangkin only used 5 moves, but he broke 5 soldiers in a row. Even so, it did not stop Jiangkin from attacking. The collision of the 2 with the sound of the soldiers break, the whole arena was echoed. As the battle between the 2 entered the white heat, the people around could not even see the figure of both sides. The speed of the fast can only see the round, and continuous soldiers from the distant sword bridge out of the sky of the sword shadow. In the whole arena flying fog. I don't know how long it's been. Jiangkin has cut out 999 machines in a row, which means he's out of soldiers and he's out of weapons. With the ability to cut the fairy, he was replaced by the spirit of the sword with the voice of the sword. The terrible sword air came like a tide to the mysterious man. And the mysterious man, who had been in a trance, had to fight hard, although it was successfully blocked. It was also slightly internally injured. He didn't expect a red dust fairy to have such a power. This episode was comparable to the level of the king. But the next second the mysterious man suddenly changed color, only seeing the sword dust floating in the air. Countless sword air spread around the sword dust. The sword dust used and never used skill to kill this guy. Even if this episode can kill the mysterious man, the sword dust will also break the foundation and hurt itself, which is 1,000 wounds and 800 injuries. It was at this time that the accessories of the people around the audience suddenly came out of the box and could not be controlled to the air of the sword dust.
He was surrounded by the sword in the air and inserted all the accessories around him as if he had been instructed to rush out of the sky.
The shadow of the sword around him was dancing around him, and the audience's eyes were wide open. The power of this move can be broken. Yi Kengshuan when Yin tried a mouthful of if it was true. that it could break the boundary 2,000 years ago and even open the door of the fairy. To fly up the sword.
It's a shame that he's out of time.
The sword in the air. With the sword dust pointing out that the sword carries the terrible power to kill the mysterious man. In this case, the mysterious man had to use the power of the source to make the power inside him rise madly, and immediately see the sword of the sky spread out the power of the sky. The mysterious man moved his hand to the top of the sword, and the two energies collided under the attention of the audience. The sound of the roar of the sky spread out the energy wave, as if it were a tide spreading around the four sides. Yi Kangxuan raised his hand to release a protective barrier, and the wave was cut off from the outside of the mouth. If these two people could be a little bit more powerful, even in the age of magic, they could have forced the door open. Huo Ying just fell into the fishlight, and suddenly saw the direction of the palace of the Jade Girl. I didn't expect the princess to be able to easily resist the fish wave and the power of his body. The princess has already forced the door open. In the end of the age, this makes Yi Kangxuan a little bit worse. The smoke of the second generation dispersed, and two shadows appeared in the arena, and the sword, dust with a broken right hand, has been through the light. It is a pity that even if he used the last skill, he could not defeat the mysterious man in front of him, and the battle of this degree. The legendary door has not been opened, and is destined to never go to the upper world in this life. But the mysterious man is perfectly intact. For the sword dust, the opponent is still a faithful admirer. The dancer who is obsessed with fighting can always make people fall in love with each other. After solving the 5 strongest people of the tribe, the mysterious man looked around and said, "Now there should be no one who wants the sword in my hand." Which is the sound of a woman's voice suddenly reminded me that I was not interested in the sword. But why did you pretend to be Yi Kangxuan? The speaker is the princess of the Jade Girl. When she heard this, she was surprised by the mysterious man's face. Did she know Yi Kangxuan? The next generation can be with Yi Kangxuan. The same era should have died long ago, or random opening of the god color. Calmly deal with the princess, do not joke. I was Yi Kangxuan. Why did you pretend to be a pair of King Princess Wen Yan? Directly a cold hum. I don't know who you are, but you suddenly appeared in Qingxuanzong and solved the crisis for Qingxuanzong this time. It was supposed to be a good thing, but you shouldn't have pretended to be Yi Kangxuan, and you shouldn't have shown your true face to show that there must be a conspiracy I don't know about. As for the joke, I am the woman of Yi Kangxuan. How can I not even distinguish my own man? At one point, the whole stadium became extremely quiet, and then the audience was excited. Everyone is unbelievable that King Princess is actually a woman of the old master Yi Kangxuan, who is also sitting on the audience seat. Tang Yuayu heard this and immediately got upset and shook Yi Kangxuan's head. Husband, is he telling the truth? You and he have been married for 10 years. At one point, Yi Kangxuan was numb because he didn't even know when another woman came out. The mysterious man heard the words of King Princess and was also in a state of mind. I wonder what the hell this woman is from. If it's really Yi Kangxuan, how can he live to this day? Because even if they are demons, they may not have such a long life. When the mysterious man was thinking, the princess of Qin's feet were light, and the body of Now Man came to the stadium in an instant. Watching the mysterious man in front of him continue to speak and testify, holding the sword of Juqian to deal with a red dust fairy can actually be injured. How can my man be so weak, let alone just a red dust fairy? Even if the king of the fairy is in his eyes, he is just garbage. When he heard this, the mysterious man became silent because the woman was telling the truth. As the princess of Qin kept talking about the flaws of the mysterious man, the past was slowly revealed. It turned out that 1,000 years ago, the princess of Qin was already a red dust fairy in the lower realm. Her strength could have been forced to break through the door of the fairy in this end of age era. The reason for not leaving is to wait for Yi Kangxuan to return. But this waiting is more than 1,000 years. The man of the daydream has not returned. So he decided to break through to the fairy king mirror and open the door of the fairy to the upper realm to find the news of Yi Kangxuan. It was not until 700 years ago that he finally found the news of Yi Kangxuan in the upper realm. But he was also in trouble with the Qingxuan sect in the lower realm of Kangzhou. Qingxuan sect was founded by Yi Kangxuan, so he had to go back to the lower realm in the end. It was still a step late. Most of the Qingxuan sect was destroyed. Later, he found that there was something wrong with it. How can the 6 major sects be able to destroy the Qingxuan sect with the garbage that even the door of the fairy can't do? After a search, he found some clues. The portraits of Yi Kangxuan in the lower realm were all taken away, and even the ancestral portraits of the Qingxuan sect were changed. At that time, he knew that someone was planning something behind all this. So he kept looking at the lower realm to see who was manipulating all this. As a result, this change was 700 years until today, when he finally determined that the mysterious man in front of him was the murderer behind the scenes. When he heard that the King Princess had revealed the truth, the mysterious man no longer hid his evil laughter unexpectedly. The mysterious man eventually fell into the upper realm. The mysterious man pulled off the mask on his face, and his body began to change and was surrounded by light. A sharp thorn grew from his forehead and became a long chicken foot. The mysterious man showed his true form and was enraged that he was the master of the demon clan. The master of the demon clan, Dictation, was so angry that he thought of the whole arena. Who could have thought that the master of the demon clan had been lurking in the lower realm for hundreds of years? The demon who showed his true form no longer covered his eyes and unsealed the band for many years. It's been a long time since he let go of everything, and he's feeling so comfortable right now with his current strength. And Zhu Jian in the lower realm, even the princess of the Yutong Palace in front of him, Qin Muya, is the man of the upper realm, and he is also confused. Dictation carried the sword in his hand and went towards Qin Muya without any hesitation. But what he could not imagine was that a shadow turned and blocked him in front of him.
The man just extended two fingers and blocked his sword.
What kind of person is it that can take over the army of the sword? And the master of the demon Deshatian's face is shocked. No matter how hard he tries, the sword in his hand is still there. The man is Yi Qingshuan, who has been watching the show for a long time. I can't figure out who the hell is Deshatian. Who is so busy and so angry that he asks, who the hell are you?
Which Yi Qingshuan when Yan just turned his head to Qin Miya. Next to him,
I gently touched Qin Miya's head and said, "Please take care of the Qingxuan sect for me all these years. If it weren't for you, the fallen Qingxuan sect would have been broken up by other small sects hundreds of years ago."
I felt the most familiar action of Qin Miya's face and breath.
Is it you? After receiving a definite answer from Yi Qingshuan, Qin Miya could no longer control his emotions and jumped into Yi Qingshuan's arms. 1,000 years of waiting for the day to come, and now finally meet again as he had wished. He didn't know what happened to Yi Qingshuan. And what happened to him? Even the breath on the body has changed from before. Watching the two of them in the arena gently touching each other, Tan Yoayu on the audience table couldn't help but pinch the seat, and the terrible murderous aura spread all over her body. This vixen's mother is going to kill him. I felt the murderous aura of Tan Yoayu on the audience table. Qin Miya asked with a frown on his face, "Don't tell me you're married and have a child. When you hear that?" Yi Qingshuan has some speechless explanation. You can't even recognize him. He's Tan Yoayu. You've been fighting for so long. You haven't seen his real body yet, have you? Qin Miya just reacted to the coldness of the face. So you came back and found him first. And then you didn't even come to me. Seeing that the two of them were endlessly and indiscriminately rekindled, the old demon master was offended to the teeth. And teeth of the thought of this scene is for you to talk about love. Notice the fierce eyes of the earth and the sky Yi Qingshuan activities of the summer Golden Valley to drink the road. My last name is Yi Ming Qingshuan. Is the founder of the Qingxuan sect, and you have been pretending to be the master of the devil. When I heard Yi Qingshuan's 3 words, the earth and the sky were angry, and the sky was because of you. My demon master has been helpless for thousands of years, and has fallen to the extreme, speaking and quickly pointing to his own acupoints. The acupoints that were pointed at instantly violently. The earth and the sky directly used the demon's forbidden blood-sucking skill to increase his strength by several levels. It can be seen that he is very afraid of Yi Qingshuan, but even so, he has not even touched Yi Qingshuan's corner of his body for several times. Every time Zhu Zhangjian's power is cut off, Yi Qingshuan easily avoids it. Yi Qingshuan just reached out his finger and gently talked to Zhu Zhangjian, who was carrying the power of thunder, and was instantly opened. Feel the movement of Yi Qingshuan's Qingxuan. The magic power in the earth and the sky is moving crazily, and the attack speed is several times higher. However, the sword shadow of Mantian did not touch Yi Qingshuan at all. The gap between the two is as wide as a red ditch, with a crazy attack of the earth and the sky. Yi Qingshuan only used 2 fingers for a long time. Yi Qingshuan did not even use a single strength. This kind of attack was really bad. Under the Qingxuan and the flat ground, the earth and the sky were laughing, and the demon aura spread all over the place. Today he is going to gather the power of faith of the demon clan's 10,000 people and kill Yi Qingshuan here. Even if he was killed by the flesh, he would not hesitate to do so, just so that his demon clan could have no worries in Kangzhou. At the same time, as the demon aura of the earth and the sky spread, the demon clan in Qing'an City in Kangzhou sensed that their demon master had encountered a great enemy and needed their help. At the same time, countless demons offered their true bodies and contributed their power of faith to their demon master. In an instant, countless forces of faith were like a tide that quickly floated into the arena of the Qingxuan sect. Under the push of this sea of faith, the earth and the sky directly broke through to the peak of the king of the gods, then broke the mirror again and entered the realm of the god. Even if you can enter the god in the upper world, it is also a little bit of nothing. The earth and the sky form that broke through to the god mirror began to evolve as a burst of energy came out of the earth and the sky with a strong force. Slowly walk out of the energy whirlpool and feel the energy in your body, the body of the body. After the strengthening has already had the strength of the half of the king of the gods. And the earth and the sky is full of confidence, and at the same time it is a pity that if the body can be stronger, maybe you can take advantage of this change. And you can cross the mirror of the king of the gods. And you can even touch the threshold of the earth, but face the invisible earth and the sky. Yi Qingshuan is a godlike opening to the half of the king of the gods. Even if you are really a god king, so what, in my eyes? You are still weak and pitiful. The powerful man who is the half of the king of the gods. And the god of the god of the god is also a top overlord in the 9 states of the upper world. Now in this lower world, Kangzhou is said to be rubbish. How can the demon master be tolerated in the summer? Is it possible that only the earth that dominates the upper world can be called the powerful man? However, he did not know that in the eyes of Yi Qingshuan, even the earth did not leave the weak. He was the only one who followed the sky to defeat the powerful man of the upper world. Among them, the one who can be in the front row of the sky is not only the earth level, but in front of him. The earth is just an opponent that can fight with it. In order to stop Yi Qingshuan's footsteps, the earth of Zhuzhou jointly arranged the 9 states to destroy the god town. But in the end, it was still Yi Qingshuan who killed the human and the horse. This is the location of Yi Qingshuan's sky-breaking guard. At this moment, the strength of the body has increased several times the ground and sand sky. The confidence of the unprecedented high rise. Today, no matter what, he will be the first Yi Qingshuan to wash away the shame of the demonic ancestors 2,000 years ago. A magic power is crazy into the hands of the sword of the pig, with the one shot of the earth and the sun. A huge sword shadow quickly came to Yi Qingshuan. I felt that. This sword had broken through the limit of half the god emperor. Yi Qingshuan drank it and opened his mouth. Oh good, if I could add a little more rule of law, I would have the smell of the earth. The power of the body in the middle of the speech began to move. And then a fist was thrown out and a huge human figure appeared in front of it. The fist and the sword collided in the light, and by time, the whole Qingchuan sect was spread throughout the whole of their world. The tick flashes and the sword were instantly crushed. The fist was like a broken bamboo moving towards the earth and the sand sky. The sword hit the earth and the sun reacted quickly. And the flash disappeared directly into the air and appeared behind Yi Kangchuan in the next second. The sword quickly absorbed the hand of the pig and was firmly held by the two fingers of Yi Kangchuan. The earth and the sun are extremely shocking. What kind of strength is this person? His own strength has been improved several times, but he is still easily caught by the other party. But Yi Kangchuan is just a beginner's body mirror. In strict terms, it has not yet entered the path of cultivation. But this body mirror has been trained to the extreme. How can the earth and the sun believe that this is just a body mirror, facing a level opponent like Decision? Yi Kangchuan only felt that it was useless. This drama should end. I thought of this punch quickly to the earth and the sun. It was just a punch. Decision didn't even have a place to react. He was blown out of the air until he hit the wall of the stadium and stopped. Once the existence of the half-god of the demon master is so defeated in the hands of Yi Kangchuan did not feel anything wrong with it. I didn't expect this level of battle. To be able to break the defense of this body was still a little bit worse. Although the previous body training has reached the extreme, it has reached the point of low blood regeneration. But the rebirth will eventually consume the original force. But fortunately, it has survived. Chang Shenji was not killed by the old man. Watching Yi Kangchuan solve the coming demon, Master Tang Yuayu and Qin Muya came in a hurry. But when they heard the other person's name, they hugged each other on the spot. Kangchuan is also your husband. Can you call him? Looking at the two girls in front of each other, Yi Kangchuan was as numb as a stick. He reached out and tried to confuse the two of them. Qin Muya suddenly asked, Kangchuan, this demon girl actually calls you husband. Are you really married to her? It's not good to make Yi Kangchuan look bad when he looks at Tang Yuayu's face, so he's 36 steps ahead of the top. After a moment, everyone gathered in the hall of the Qingchuan sect and placed 10 soldiers, with Yu Zhangjian as their leaders on the high platform. The previous treasure was all arranged by Yi Kangchuan, who ordered the elders of the Qingchuan sect, led by the Grand Master, to make good use of these treasures to cultivate excellent disciples. These are for people to use, not for the treasure to be hidden and pinched. Hearing the words of the founder of the mountain, the elders dare not have any intention of refuting it. As for Yu Zhangjian, it is useless for Yi Kangchuan. If there are any disciples who can pull it out in the future, Yu Zhangjian will give it all. After arranging the Qingchuan sect, Yi Kangchuan took the two girls to prepare to lead the Qingchuan sect. According to him, if the resources of the 5 major sects were used to use these treasures, and the 5 major sects were killed, if you can't rebuild the Qingchuan sect, then the Qingchuan sect will not be necessary. Go home as soon as possible. It's an accident that he was able to return to the Qingchuan sect this time. It's just a matter of getting rid of the Qingchuan sect. He still has more important things to do. But Takan and others stayed behind. Yi Kangchuan left decisively. After a moment, a group of 5 people met in the mountains. Yi Kangchuan left this time in addition to Tang Yuayu and Qin Muya, with his disciple Yi Shire and sages Yi Lingyan, or is willing to follow the sign of Yi Kangchuan, to listen to the teaching of which people have just been on the road. Qin Muya's voice suddenly remembered Kangchuan. You haven't answered my question yet. Did you really get married to this witch? For a moment, Yi Kangchuan was not feeling well. He coughed and turned around and said that the most important thing is to improve everyone's strength. Let's hurry up and get on the road. I don't believe this time I won't beat you. I don't know how long it's been. In the constant rush of people, a group of people came to a beautiful landscape in the valley of the mountain. Yi Kangchuan has not been here for more than 2,000 years. He did not expect that this place was really a big change. This is the legendary beast valley of the lower Kangzhou. I came to a place where Yi Kangchuan stopped and took a step, and a blow flew out into the air. It was a barrier that could not be seen and broke instantly. A cloud of floating other planes appeared in the eyes of the people. The beautiful scenery in front of them made the people look at the god. Yi Kangchuan went in first and opened the door. He used his own strength to suppress the Manchu domain and sealed hundreds of millions of Manchurians in the Great Formation. The living environment of the Manchu is extremely bad. The lack of food makes the Manchu people love blood, and the Manchu worship the most fundamental weak and strong. In their view, the weak should be enslaved to become the subordinate of the strong. This race is full of aggression and the like to burn, kill, and rob. The battlefields of the 9 plains of the mainland have been on fire for 2,000 years until the ancient Yi Kangchuan, who was a physical body, took action and sealed the entire Manchuria with the 4 beasts and the 4 divine beasts. This has made the 9 plains of the mainland peaceful for 2,000 years, and no one knows that the former world's #1 leader of the sky-breaking list is the birth of the Manchu demon Tang Yuayu, is also a man of the Manchu. Yi Kangchuan challenged the heavens to defeat. At that time, he felt that his way of training was not complete. Now that he has revived, he immediately thought of the sealed Manchuria. The Manchu is born with a strong body. It's a race that admires physical strength. Maybe here we can find a way to help him break through the physical body. At the behest of Yi Kangchuan, the 4 divine beasts opened the sealed formation and were suppressed for more than 2,000 years. Manchuria was reborn and returned to the map of the 9 plains of the mainland. In a remote small tribe in Huangzhou, a group of Manchu people looked up and showed their shock. The leader was one of the 8 great forces of Manchuria. When he saw that the sealed Manchuria had suddenly been released, He hurried to the core of the Manchu. He was going to report this to the king of the Manchu. When he learned that the seal had suddenly been lifted, the king of the Manchu had a guess in his heart that it was the man who came back again, the one who suppressed Wanzhou with his own strength and sealed Manchuria for more than 2,000 years. Yi Kengshuan came back again. He ordered the 8 great forces to gather the strongest of the 8 great forces and go to the meeting with the once strongest man in the world. The return of Yi Kengshuan's Manchu emperor showed his excitement. In the 2,000 years of the seal, Manchuria rose all the way to unify the Manchu of the Sansha class and use the power of the 10,000 tribes to make a night fire. I've been practicing his body all the time. And now the king of the Manchu is just missing a not so strong opponent to help him break through the last level of his body.
At the same time, Yi Kengshuan also took his daughter to Manchuria. Looking around, a desolate Tang Yuai was a little bit of a surprise. He remembered that Manchuria was once very desolate.